doubleheader coming up. You got the T-Wolves and Sixers a little later on. The Jazz and the Blazers, two of the better stories in the NBA. But we start with the Sixers because their storyline is absolutely intriguing right now. For all the wrong reasons and right reasons, a little mixed bag. James Harden missed the last 6 games due to injury. He's not due back for a little bit. Joel Embiid has picked up the slack. You look at those numbers. And then Tyrese Maxey leaving yesterday's game. He's gone 3 to 4 weeks. And we don't know about Tobias Harris, but we can ask this next guy, Keith Pompey, who covers the Sixers for the Philadelphia Inquirer. He knows everything. That's why we brought him on. And we got to start off with Tyrese Maxey because that's the breaking news. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. How does this impact the team, Keith?
I mean, in a major way. I mean, you look at Tyrese Maxey, right now, in order for the Sixers to be competitive, they want Tyrese to be Batman. Not Batman. They want him to be Robin to Joel Embiid's Batman. And the problem is just like they haven't had a lot of time on the court together to develop that as the entire group. So I think this is going to hurt them a lot moving forward because when you look at this lineup, the starting lineup has only played in 6 of their 16 games together. So not having Tyrese available is really going to hurt them in regards to gelling.
Yeah, and they wanted Tyrese to step up without James Harden. And what is the latest on James Harden right now? When could he return?
James, I expect James to not return the next week, but the week afterwards. Right now he seems to be on pace for that, 4-week, the month recovery. Right about now it's like he's doing a little bit of light shooting. And then, next week he'll do some other things. And then it's all about the conditioning. He seems to be, it's one of those things where, he only had the walking boot on for a couple of days. He said he felt a little bit uncomfortable and decided to take it off. But I think right now with Maxey being down, it's going to be one of those things where he's going to be ready to come back, as soon as, the timeline is over with.
In the meantime, Joel Embiid has picked up the scoring slack. Listen, you've seen him do some special things over the past few years. What is making Joel so unstoppable right now?
I think he's in better shape, in better conditioning. Like in the past, it used to be one of those things where Joel kind of sort of took time off, and then all of a sudden it was like he came back heavy, he came back a little sluggish. I think right now the conditioning for whatever he's doing, the conditioning is better, so he can be able to dominate like he did a couple nights ago in the fourth quarter. Also, I think that, Doc Rivers doesn't get a lot of credit. Since Doc Rivers has been the 76ers coach, you saw Joel Embiid's play elevate. And with that being said, that helps with the conditioning, is being a better teammate. And what I mean by that is finding guys, like passing out of the double and triple teams. So I think that Doc Rivers has been, great for Joel's development. And we're seeing it in regards to also him being in better shape.
Before I let you go, I got to ask you about the fallout from yesterday's win after the game with Milwaukee. Giannis wanted to shoot free throws, and then Montrezl Harrell was having none of that. What was said after? Did you witness it yourself? What's your take on this whole situation?
Yes, I saw it, man. It was crazy because I was like one of those guys, trying to follow the story late. And right there where you see it, I was sitting right there and seeing, I was like, yo, am I seeing this? Is he trying to punk Giannis? What's going on? And, I was a little shocked by it. I mean, it was unfortunate. It was one of those situations where you hate to see it happen. It just seemed to me like maybe some guys got a little, disappointed with the way they played, and, they took it out on the wrong people. But, I was shocked, man. I couldn't believe it. And actually, when I went to the press conference, I kept saying, hey, y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. I thought they were about to go to blows.
And the fans were loving it because there's video after Giannis missing free throws. So the Philly fans were just absolutely loving the whole situation. Keith, appreciate the insight, man. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So the Philadelphia situation, I mean, listen, injuries are going to happen. They had it to James Harden, but then Tyrese Maxey's the guy you want to step up. And listen, he had 24 points in 21 minutes the other day. How does Philly get through this next little stretch here?
Joel Embiid, and a little bit more Joel Embiid. Joel's going to have to carry the load. Big fella knows what it's all about. Had to carry a lot of the load last year, and he's capable. playing like the best big man in the league right now, and they're going to have to get a lot more. They got to go through him even more than he usually does, and that's going to be a big load on his shoulders, but he can take it. We saw him have 42 the other night and bounce right back with 59. And he's also gotten so much better as a passer with passing out of double teams. Guys understand how to get in his vision. We had George Niang in here a couple of weeks ago telling us about how he always finds ways to get in Joel's vision because Joel is always double and triple team. So their team is getting better at that. So I think they're going to have to feature Joel a lot. And when he causes a problem, guys got to be ready to knock down shots.
So, Nabil, with that being said, is Niang, is P.J. Tucker, is Shake Milton, are they ready to make shots? Because the better defensive teams, they're not letting Joel Embiid get 59. Once he gets rolled, they're going to go send 2 and 3 guys.
Hey, man, when he got 39, you might want to double him. When he gets to 39,
who are they playing?
Utah.
Okay. So see what I'm saying? So that's my point. Now, we know Utah's off to a great start, and they got young guys, and they're playing well. But we know Utah's not one of those juggernaut defensive teams where they're saying, we're not going to let one guy beat us. That's when you say Philadelphia, as Shaq likes to say to others, be prepared to make shots, because to your point, Joel Embiid will pass the basketball.
Right.
You know, those guys match his force, then maybe they can hold down the fort to Maxey and Harden get healthy.
Should have mentioned no Tobias Harris again tonight. This is the second straight game he's going to miss with left hip soreness. And again, that would be a guy you would ask to step up in this situation. But we came in
Montrezl Harrell will be ready tonight.
Better be, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's another one, opportunity knocks.
We came in praising the Sixers this year for the depth that they had. Now, this is a time where they got to step up, and different guys got to do it.
Well, when Tobias Harris gets healthy, I think that's the one most people like to go at right away, because since he signed a big contract, he's the one that's kind of been up and down. Embiid's been Embiid. We already know James Harden history. Maxey has emerged now as being the guy that needs to be on the floor. So when healthy, I think Tobias Harris has an opportunity to prove us again he's worth his contract, and he can be a guy to hold down the fort for Philly.
Yeah, Tobias has been a guy that's averaged 20 or better in this league before, so he understands that if he's given the opportunity, he can turn back the clock, start looking for his shot more. And I give him a lot of credit because he's had to dial his game back to fit in with this team. When you have James Harden, when you have Maxey, when you have some of the other players they've had there in the past, he understood he couldn't go out there and be as aggressive as he wanted to be. Well, now the team needs him to be aggressive because James Harden's not going to be there for a couple of weeks, and Maxey looks like he's going to be out for 3 to 4. I'm looking forward to seeing Tobias Harris take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, and Shake Milton, I should mention, was a plus 17 last game, coming in for Maxey, 15 points. They'll need that kind of effort from him. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they've won 2 games in a row after losing 6 or 7. You know, they go up and down. And a bunch of the guys have said the team chemistry is getting better, especially with the starting 5. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I definitely started the last 2 games. And what I've seen is in their last 3 wins, outside of the chemistry, Karl-Anthony Towns, Karl-Anthony Towns, Karl-Anthony Towns. And in their last 3 wins, Karl-Anthony Towns has 25 points, 29 points, and 30 points. And he shot 64, 68, and 66% from the field as we see him debut in the new look. I love it. But at the end of the day, he's the guy for me. I know everybody wants to make it Anthony Edwards' team, but they still revolve heavily around what he's doing. When he's playing well, scoring between 25 and 30, being efficient doing it, they're still a very tough team to beat. Even though sometimes they've looked a little, I'm not going to say sluggish, they've been trying to find their way with the new lineup with Rudy Gobert there, it still goes through Cat, and I think that the way he's played in their last 3 wins is how he needs to continue to play.
As a team, offensively, I knew they'd be okay. I didn't overuse, because you have Rudy Gobert, things are going to be clogged up. I thought Rudy Gobert would help them defensively overnight, and that's the part for me, B-Wood, that no, you're supposed to be, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Make sure you lock down that side of the court for them as you continue to figure out offensively. So that's where I'm a little concerned at.
Well, what about D'Angelo Russell? Because he's coming off one of his best offensive games a couple nights ago against Cleveland when he had 30 points, 11 assists. People have been roasting him all year. And you look at the numbers, they're not great. Are you starting to see a bit of a change in his game? How can he fit in this roster?
He's stuck between a rock and a hard place because D'Angelo Russell is a shoot-first point guard. From high school to college, it's all about getting buckets. And now he's, to B. Wood's point, you got Cat who's rolling. He's got to eat. Anthony Edwards has got to eat. So he's trying to figure out, how do I run this ball club the right way, still be solid on the defensive end and keep the team right. But then when you watched him in the playoffs last year, B. Wood, when Jordan McCloughan was on the floor, it seemed like things just flowed and ran better, and I think that kind of messed with him early on.
I think – go ahead.
No, I was going to finish up with just get back to being who you are first.
Exactly.
Be who you are, and then follow the coach's leadership.
That's why I'm glad I let you finish your thought, 'cause that was exactly what I was about to say. Get back to being who you are. Get back to being aggressive. You look at the numbers this year, he's shooting 12 times a game. The last 3 seasons, he's been 17, 15, and 15. He's been a little bit more aggressive, leading to more points, and this is his lowest point per game output since his rookie year. So he needs to obviously get those numbers up, and it comes down to him being more aggressive, looking for a shot within the offense, and I think that just comes down to these guys figuring out how to play together a little bit more.
You stole my stat.
I did? What was that? Which one was that?
The lowest average since his rookie season.
Ah, man, you know,
No, it's right there. It's right there.
I do my own.